What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Simply Nieccee. Nope, I don't like that. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing out there? This is your girl, Simply Nieccee, and we are back. Honey, class is in session. Yes, school bells, school bells, school bells. Class is in session with one of our favorite designers, especially trendy this past year. Who is it? Keep watching.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. I've already told you who I am, but in case you've missed it, my name is Nieccee. This is Simply Nieccee, and this is my little corner of YouTube. If you're new here, welcome to the fold. We appreciate you just stumbling upon this side of the YouTube verse. Is that a thing? The YouTube verse? It's a thing. I've decided it's a thing. Family, gang, baby. What up? I missed y'all so much. Things have gone haywire, but that is for another video. This is why you're not here for the blooper. So I'm going to be flat out with you, and I'm just going to tell you right now that there's not a lot of information out there on Marc Jacobs, but what there is a lot of conflicting information out there on Marc Jacobs. I've recorded this video. This is time number 3. The first time the file got corrupted, YouTube wouldn't take it. I don't know what happened, but I was entirely hurt. Like, I was hurt. The second time, I can't even remember what happened, and that was the last time. Oh, I can't find the footage. So it's been something after another thing every time with this video. I don't know if the timing was incorrect or if the time is now, but we are shooting this for a third time, and we're gonna get it out there, and we're gonna get this information out there. And if you know anything about Marc Jacobs, I ask that you drop it down below in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. So of course, as you know me, honey, I have my notes right up in here. We're gonna insert some pictures and some cool graphics. And if this is your first time coming to class, baby, grab your pencil and your pen, or the notes on your phone. Make sure you got you a little something to sip on, and baby, be ready, because class is in session. Marc Jacobs was born April 9th, 1963 to a non-observant Jewish family in New York City. I forgot to tell y'all, pause. See me look off? It's because my brain can't remember all this stuff, but I want to give you as accurate information as I can, so please bear with. When he was 7 years old, his father, an agent at the William Morris Agency, I'm not sure if many of you know what that is, but it was a very prestigious talent agency back in the day, and his father was an agent there, and he passed away. His mother remarried 3 times, according to Marc Jacobs. What is this about the number 3 today? I don't get it. But Jacobs said she was mentally ill. That could go in a variety of ways, but you got to think back to like 1970 and where they were with the stigma of mental illness and things like that. So my heart does go out to Marc Jacobs, because that is kind of a plight of my own. I totally understand his situation. But his mother was mentally ill, and she didn't take care of her kids. As a teenager, he went to live with his mother's mother, his maternal grandmother, on the Upper West Side in an apartment in the Majestic on Central Park West. Jacobs grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey, and attended Teaneck High School. He attended the High School of Art and Design and studied at Parsons School of Design in New York. While at Parsons in 1984, he won the Perry Ellis and Chester Winberg Gold Thimble Award and Design Student of the Year Award. In 1987, he became the youngest designer ever to receive the Council of Fashion Designers of America's Perry Ellis Award for the new fashion talent. He also won the Women's Designer of the Year Award from the Council of Fashion Designers of America in the upcoming year of 1993. Perry Ellis, of course, we will touch on him at another point in the video. But if you can go back and look at a couple of the people that we have studied history on, Perry Ellis is very prominent in their, especially in the LVMH family. He is very prominent in the backgrounds of many of our iconic fashion designers. Another source says Jacob was raised with his brother and his sister in New York, where his parents were employed. Of course, his father, part of the William Morris Agency, that part doesn't change. And when he was 7 years old, his father passed away. His mother subsequently remarried and divorced several times. So this source does not give a number, so to speak, as far as how many times his mom remarried. But each time, the family had to relocate. And you can imagine what type of strain that had each time a family has to relocate or get used to someone new or something like that. When Jacob was a teenager, he went to Manhattan's Upper West Side with his paternal grandmother, who have taught him as a child how to knit and encouraged his growing interest in fashion design. So props out to grandma, because without her, we would not know of the fashion greatness of Marc Jacobs today. By the age of 15, again, he had enrolled in High School of Art and Design and was working at upscale clothing boutique Charivari. I'm gonna put it across the screen, and where he met fashion designer Perry Ellis, who became his mentor. So it explains a lot between the connection between Marc Jacobs and Perry Ellis, because he was his mentor when he went to work for this clothing boutique. As for now, I think you can see some of the differences, and we really don't know what is truth and what is fiction. And there are several parts to this story, so we just have to roll with what we got and just put the pieces together for ourselves and make it a truth of sorts. Another source said that Marc Jacobs' father passed away of ulcerative colitis. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of bits and pieces, and this source is biography.com. And his mother's response to the father's passing away was power dating and failed marriages that caused serious upheaval in the family. So the kids just felt like they just couldn't take it anymore, and they decided to pack it up and gone over grandma's. So biography.com also says it was while living with his grandmother that Jacob truly felt at home, well-traveled and educated. Her love of aesthetically beautiful things and her appreciation for Jacob's creative designs helped the grandmother and grandson forge a close relationship. Jacobs has been quoted by saying, "I always say I lived my life with my grandmother. She was emotionally stable and she was very encouraging to me." His grandmother also allowed him to enjoy a permissive adolescence of full self-exploration. "No one ever said no to me about anything," he said. "No one ever told me anything was wrong. Never. No one ever said you can't be a fashion designer. No one ever said you're a boy and you can't take tap dancing lessons. No one ever said you're a boy and you can't have long hair. No one ever said you can't go out at night because you're 15 and 15-year-olds don't go to nightclubs. No one said it was wrong to be gay or right to be straight." Now, I can't give any commentary on this. You're 15 and 15-year-olds don't go out to nightclubs. If you was a 15-year-old in the 90s, baby, we used to sneak out all the time and go to nightclubs. I'm not saying it's right, honey. If you're watching this and you on the younger side of the scale, do not do as we do as we say. It's not, yet it was fun, it is not worth the trouble that you get in once you get caught. The staff at the clothing boutique allowed the young stock boy to design sweaters at the store in between his task of folding clothes and dressing mannequins. The work helped Jacobs land a spot at the coveted Parsons School of Design. So here we are again. So according to biography.com, the work helped Jacobs land a spot at the coveted Parsons School of Design, where he stood out among his classmates by winning both the Perry Ellis Gold Thimble Award which we previously mentioned, and Design Student of the Year at graduation in 1984. So we just know that he won those awards in other sources, but according to biography.com, these were graduation awards. Just after graduating at the age of 21, he designed his first collection for the label Sketchbook for Reuben Thomas. He cited this visually rich films, Amadeus and Purple Rain, his inspirations for the line.
Who said that? Who said that?
Let me read that again because that didn't make no sense. He cited the visually rich films, Amadeus and Purple Rain, his inspirations for the line. So he drew inspiration from the two prestigious films for his first collection for Sketchbook. In 1987, he became the youngest designer ever to win the Council of Fashion Designers of America Perry Ellis Award for New Fashion Talent. So early on, Marc Jacobs is stepping on necks and he is cracking them. For his graduation project, he designed a collection of oversized hand-knit sweaters which earned him some of the school's highest honors. He subsequently sold the collection to the clothing boutique, and the collection was marketed with the aid of Executive Vice President Barbara Weiser as Marc and Barbara. Jacobs thereafter secured the financial backing to design under his own label in 86 to 88, for which he became the youngest designer to win the Council of Fashion Designers of America, CFDA, Perry Ellis Award for New Fashion Talent in 1987, one of the industry's highest honors. In 88, Jacobs was named Vice President of Women's Design at Perry Ellis, where he gained international recognition for his revolutionary Grunge collection, which he debuted in 92. Inspired by the emerging grunge music scene, the collection featured unorthodox combinations such as flowered girlish dresses paired with combat boots. You know, the look that we see all over the place, but was really popular in the 90s. That was because in 92 is when it started. To achieve a disheveled and individualistic look, the designs were shown by wayfish models including Kate Moss. Jacobs was christened the guru of grunge, and I can see that, by Women's Wear Daily, and named CFDA Women's Wear Designer of the Year in the same year of 1992, largely because of the monumental collection. He ushered in the grunge look of the 90s, and Jacobs' employment with Perry Ellis, however, was promptly terminated, a decision believed by many industry professionals to have been a result of his radical departure from the brand's traditionally clean-cut image. So the brand usually kept a pure look, but when he walked in here with these flowered daisy dresses and put on some Doc Martens, I don't know if they was really Doc Martens or if Doc Marten was out then, but you get my drift. They was not having it. They were not having it. In 86, backed by Onward Kashiyama USA Incorporated. I don't even know what that is, but okay. I guess I probably should have looked that up for this video. He designed his first collection bearing the Marc Jacobs label with Onward Kashiyama USA Inc. In the fall of 93, Jacobs Duffy Designs launched their own licensing and design company, Marc Jacobs International. In 94, Jacobs produced his first full collection of menswear. And in 97, Marc Jacobs was appointed the creative director for Louis Vuitton, where he created the company's first ready-to-wear line. I know we've heard this before. I know we've talked about this, maybe in passing. But check out some of the previous Fashion History 101 videos and you will see exactly what we're talking about. Jacobs has collaborated with many popular artists for his Louis Vuitton collections, including Steven Sprouse, Takashi Murakami, and most recently, Richard Prince and Kanye West. In the spring of 01, Jacobs introduced his secondary line, Marc by Marc Jacobs. I know you guys have seen that everywhere. And people are like, that's not the real Marc Jacobs. It actually is. Marc Jacobs created Marc by Marc Jacobs. He licensed his name and no one else can use that name, that label, but him. So they was like, well, it's a lower end line. Well, let's see what our resource has to say. Nothing. It says nothing. Literally nothing. In 2005, Look was the Marc by Marc Jacobs ready-to-wear license holder in Japan. with a retail value of 50 million. Babe, what's Japanese money?
Huh?
What's Japanese money? Yen? Yen? What is it? Yen. I was close. In 2005, Look was the Marc by Marc Jacobs ready-to-wear license holder in Japan with retail value of 50 million yen. That's right. Yen. In 2006, Jacobs started a new line of body splash fragrances. I'm gonna stop right there because we're gonna backtrack, because in 2006 is when a lot of people remember when Marc Jacobs launched a few different things and thinking this is when he popped off. Well, this is just totally not true. Marc Jacobs been hot, like been hot. Back then they don't want me. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Marc Jacobs collaborated with designer Steven Sprouse, we just talked about that, with whom he launched the immediately successful Louis Vuitton Speedy Graffiti handbag in 2021. Bet you didn't know that one. I told y'all, Marc Jacobs been hot, baby. He been on. He been on. Been on. In 2003, he worked with the Japanese visual artist Takashi Murakami, we just talked about that as well, to produce the critically acclaimed Louis Vuitton I Love Monogram collection, which replaced the brand's traditional beige and brown monogram canvas with a multicolored palette featuring pop art graphics such as cartoon eyes. Bet you didn't know that either. That was also Marc Jacobs. In 2005, Jacobs launched a line of children's wear called Little Marc Jacobs. I think that is so adorable. I've seen a few pieces from that line before, years ago. Marc Jacobs, again, was stepping on necks. He was working these lines, but also working his personal collection. So you can't tell me he has not put the work in, because he has. In 97, Jacob was named creative director of the Louis Vuitton house of luxury goods in Paris. The job was a professional triumph, but it brought new pressures that threw Jacob's personal life into a tailspin. He began a period of heavy drug use. Heavy drug use. With near nightly binges of cocaine, heroin, and alcohol. It's cliche, Jacobs later said of his addiction, but when I drank, I was taller, funnier, smarter, and cooler. Friends, including model Naomi Campbell and Vogue editor Anna Wintour, persuaded Jacobs to seek help, and he finally checked into a rehab in 1999. After he got clean, Jacobs threw himself back into his work, launching Louis Vuitton's first ready-to-wear line, we talked about that, while expanding his own label. So again, he was putting in the work for LVMH, and he was putting in the foundation for his personal line. His 3 Marc Jacobs collections. 3, there's that number again. 2 for adults and 1 for children, which we know the children's line is Little Marc Jacobs. We have Marc by Marc Jacobs, and we have the Marc Jacobs label. Are sold at dozens of Marc Jacobs boutiques worldwide. He also licensed his name to perfumes and accessories. The Council of Fashion Designers of America named him the Menswear Designer of the Year in 2002 and Accessories Designer of the Year in 88, 99, 03, and 05. I told y'all, the boy is bad. He's bad. He's bad. In 07, in 06, in 2006, Jacob started a new line of body splash fragrances in 10-ounce bottles, which are distributed by Coty. In 07, filmmaker, I'll put it here, I don't want to butcher it, released a documentary film about Jacobs entitled Marc Jacobs and Louis Vuitton. In 07, Jacobs began the release of his popular Daisy fragrance perfumes. So, Daisy ain't new. Now, Daisy So Fresh and Daisy Banana or whatever, those are new herb fragrances. But the traditional Daisy by Marc Jacobs has been out since 2007. My assistant is in the room. Say hi, Lola. Right there. No, right here. Right here. Right here. Oh, hi. In February 2008, Jacobs was accused of plagiarizing a scarf design created in the 1950s by Swedish designer Gösta Olofsson. Name across the bottom. Because they are Swedish. And again, I'm not Swedish and I don't know anything about Swedish names or anything like that. Jacob settled the matter by offering monetary compensation to Olofsson's son. So in 2009, Jacobs launched a shirt sold at his stores demanding the legalization of gay marriage. May 2009 with model Kate Moss, a model and muse themed gala for the New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute, and it was very, very successful. In February 2010, Jacob sued Ed Hardy for infringing on the designs of one of his embroidered handbag designs. In 2011, Jacobs was the patron of the Young Talent Award Designer for Tomorrow by Peek and Kloppenberg. 5 finalists were selected by Marc Jacobs and the jury board and received personal coaching by Marc Jacobs. The jury board and Jacobs appointed a winner in 2011 during the DFT award show. In August 2011, it was reported that Jacobs may have succeeded John Galliano as creative director at Christian Dior. According to the Daily Telegraph, Jacobs firmly laid to rest rumors that he was to move to Christian Dior and in 2012, but rumors prevailed. So we're still not sure if Marc Jacobs went to Christian Dior. I have no supporting documentation as far as that rumor is concerned. I haven't found it anywhere else to be true. So it is quite possible that Marc Jacobs did not go to Christian Dior. It kind of makes sense because he's trying to develop his own brand. Why would he go and make someone else? In February 2013, Marc Jacobs was named the new creative director for Diet Coke. This man is on soda cans and bottles, y'all. I'm telling you, he was the creative director in February 2013 for Diet Coke. In honor of the brand's 30th anniversary, Jacobs would spend 1 year where he was slated to give the brand a stylish and light-hearted makeover. In March 2013, the New York Daily News revealed that the faux fur used in many of Marc Jacobs' garments is actually the fur from raccoon dogs in China. In October 2013, after the Spring-Summer Fashion Show 2014, it was revealed that Marc Jacobs would leave Louis Vuitton to focus on his own line. And in January 2014, it is announced that Jacobs' new spring-summer collection would feature actress-singer Miley Cyrus and photographed by David Sims. On February 26th of the same year, it was announced that actress Jessica Lange would be the new face of Marc Jacobs Beauty. Y'all forgot he had a beauty line. We're talking about this perfume and lip glosses and lipsticks and eyeliners and all that stuff. In addition, it was announced that Lange would be featured in the brand's summer-fall print ad campaign, not collection, campaign, photographed by Sims, and would also star in a short campaign film directed by Jacobs to start streaming online May 5th of 2014. But let's go back to 1997 because LVMH acquired 96% of the shareholding of Marc Jacobs International, but the trademark ownership was still split between Jacobs, LVMH, and his partner Robert Duffy. We did not discuss that part at all because that was a little hush hush. In February 2018, LVMH confirmed that Baja East Coast founder John Targan would join Marc Jacobs as creative director of Contemporary. On August 26th, go back up to 2019, Jacobs was presented with MTV's first Fashion Trailblazer Award. I remember that night very, very well. It wasn't that long ago, at the Video Music Awards in partnership with the Council of Fashion Designers of America. But in September 2020, right in the midst of the pandemonium, Jacobs released Heaven, a polysexual line aimed at a younger audience with blurring gender boundaries. All of the garments incorporated brand signatures to celebrate its history while giving new context toward a newer, younger audience. The campaign also featured young rising stars. What's a start? The campaign also featured young rising stars and trendsetters such as Bia Badoobie, and Iris Law. It says in 2013, he stepped down as creative director of Louis Vuitton in order to concentrate on his own line. That year, he launched a makeup brand, Marc Jacobs Beauty, of the same year, 2013. His fashion empire subsequently struggled. At this time, in 2015, he closed the popular Marc by Marc Jacobs line. Though it's lower priced in attire, was added to his signature collection. In addition, a number of his retail stores also closed amid layoffs and upper management turnovers. Just to quote his style and not get too deep off into, you know, in his Kool-Aid, in his tea, or whatever you want to say. He did win Women's Wear Designer of the Year in 2016. And in summer 2013, there were 285 Marc Jacobs retail stores, including Marc by Marc Jacobs and Marc Jacobs Collection, that is also his, in 60 countries. In December 2013, the new Marc Jacobs flagship store opened in Shanghai. But in March 2015, Jacobs announced the end of the Marc by Marc Jacobs brand in order to focus on the development of his main label and to target a more luxury oriented audience. So he closed the, I don't know if I agree with that move. The more affordable line, you end it. But for why? Those numbers are gonna produce less, of course, because they're more affordable. They're not, child, whatever. Explaining his clothes, Jacob said, "What I prefer is that even if someone feels hedonistic, they don't look it. Curiosity about sex is much more interesting to me than domination. My clothes are not hot. Never, never." The audience for his fashion shows typically includes celebrities like Kim Gordon and Vincent Gallo. Guy Trebay, a critic for the New York Times, in response to Oscar de la Renta's comment that a coat designed by Jacobs closely resembled one of his that he designed 30 years earlier, wrote, "Unlike the many brand name designers who promote the illusion that their output results from a single prodigious creativity, Mr. Jacobs makes no pretense that fashion emerges full-blown from the head of one solitary genius." So that essentially Oscar de la Renta was saying that yes, it may be the base, it may be the same, but the direction that we went on this item were two totally different directions. It shows that we can all be given the same pattern, base pattern, and we can all turn it into something exquisite and something that everyone wants. Jacobs was one of the first fashion designers to establish this streetwise aesthetic, a mashup of a little preppy, a little grunge, a little couture. He obviously never read Ray Ray and Peanut, the fashion queen and the guru from the hood. I hope this was before Motown Philly with Boys to Men, where we added street to the blazer and tie. I'm wondering if this is before Belle Biv DeVoe and Jodeci made combat boots popular. The brand is also known for fine arts driven and avant-garde advertisement campaigns, often featuring a group of cultural icons and artists in lieu of traditional fashion models in minimally staged settings and photographed by high-profile photographers. In 2015, Jacobs launched a popular lifestyle campaign that featured artists, celebrities, and cultural icons such as Sofia Coppola, Cher, Willow Smith, Winona Ryder, Daisy Lowe, and Anthony Kiedis. There was a 2016 advertising campaign that featured Lana Wachowski, Sandra Bernhard, Bette Midler, Juliette Lewis, Christina Ricci, Sky Fiera, Bella Hadid, and Emily Ratajkowski. His personal life and causes. Jacobs has an ongoing project called Protect the Skin You're In, which has celebrities posing nude with their breast and frontal areas covered for t-shirts to raise awareness about melanoma. All sales benefit research at the NYU Langone Medical Center. Some of the celebrities that have posed are Miley Cyrus, Eva Menendez, Kate Upton, Victoria Beckham, Heidi Klum, Hilary Swank, Cara Delevingne, and Naomi Campbell. On April 4th, 2018, Jacobs proposed to his then boyfriend, Charlie DeFrancesco, via a flash mob while in a Chipotle restaurant. The Flash Mob did a routine of the song Kiss by Prince, and they were married in a lavish wedding held in New York City. Some sources say April 7th of 2019, others say April 6th. It's a 24-hour turnaround. Child, they was married before his birthday in April of 2019. The couple purchased a home in Rye, New York in April 2019, the same year and month of their marriage. The Westchester home was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright and is known as the Max Hoffman House. If I can find a picture of that, I'll insert that here. And that is our Fashion History 101 on Marc Jacobs. We did not touch a very popular item that I think you can see in the frame. I do want to bring this item to light, but I want to do its own video. Click thumbs up if you'd like to see a video on the tote bag, the popular thing from Marc Jacobs that took over the handbag world and industry here the last couple of years, and it's still making a statement, honey. My bag did not come with this charm. This charm is by Charmed by Carmen. I'll put her information down below in the description box. But this is the leather large. Is it a large? I don't know. I know I love it. It's the brick red, and it is really brick red. But if you would like to see a video on this bag, go ahead, click the thumbs up, drop down in the description box and say, I want that video. And I will make sure that this happens for us on the next Fashion History 101. Thank you for sticking with me and rocking with me and checking in with your girl. It does not go unnoticed. I know that it's been a while, but I'm back in the saddle. I'm back in the swing, and by the end of the year, we're gonna try to make this 1,000 subscribers. We're not very far from it, y'all. Like, it's like right around the corner. Tell a friend, go ahead, click subscribe. If you're new here, you like what you see, turn that bell on to all so that you are in the VIP, which is what we call the family over here, for when those next videos drop. VIP, what up, fam? I love you. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Y'all know I will fight 2 goose and a gander about you. A goose and a gander. Till next time, you stay bold, stay beautiful, and stay you. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone.